check. Give me 1 minute. Okay, just putting this on X. Okay, almost there. Okay. Namaste. Okay, Surah 15. God's command must inevitably come to pass, but all His creation proclaims His glory and leads to His truth. In all things has He furnished man with favors innumerable, to lead and guide him and bring him to Himself. Why then does man refuse the truth except for arrogance? Why does he run after false gods, thus acting against his own lights and misleading others, why does he run after false gods, thus acting against his own lights and misleading others, less blessed in knowledge? Surah, what is it? Okay, now it's 16, sorry. So I must have forgotten to change. Okay. Surah 16. Nahul ol the Bee. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. There cometh the command of God. Seek ye not then to hasten it. Glory to Him, and far is He above having the partners they ascribe unto Him. He doth send down His angels with inspiration of His command to such of His servants as He pleaseth. Warn that there is no God but I, so do your duty unto me. He has created the heavens and the earth for just ends. Far is He above having the partners they ascribe to Him. He has created man from a sperm drop, and behold, this same thing becomes an open disputer. And cattle He has created for you. From them ye derive warmth and numerous benefits, and of theirs ye eat. And ye have a sense of pride and beauty in them, as ye drive them home in the evening, and as ye lead them forth to pasture in the morning. And they carry your heavy loads to lands that ye could not reach except with soul's distrust. For your God, for your Lord, for your Lord is indeed most kind, most merciful. And horses, mules, and donkeys for you to ride and use for show. And he has created things of which ye have no knowledge. And unto God leads straight the way, but there are ways that turn aside. If God had willed, he could have guided all of you. It is he who sends down rain from the sky. From it ye drink, and out of it the vegetation on which ye feed your cattle. With it he produces for you corn, olives, date palms, grapes, and every kind of fruit. Verily in this is a sign for those who give thought. He has made subject to you the night and the day, the sun and the moon, and the stars are in subjection by his command. Verily in this are signs for men who are wise. And the things on this earth which he has multiplied in varying colors, verily in this is a sign for men who celebrate the praises of God. It is he who has made the sea subject, that ye may eat thereof flesh that is fresh and tender, and that ye may extract therefrom ornaments to wear. And thou seest the ships therein that plough the waves, that ye may seek of the bounty of God, and that ye may be grateful. And he has set up on the earth mountains standing firm, lest it should shake with you, and rivers and roads, that ye may guide yourselves, and marks and signposts, and by the stars they guide themselves. Is then he who creates like one that creates not? Will ye not receive admonition? If ye will count up the favors of God, never would ye be able to number them, for God is oft forgiving, most merciful. And God doth know what ye conceal and what ye reveal. Those whom they invoke besides God create nothing, and are themselves created, dead, lifeless, nor do they know when they will be raised up. Your God is one God. As to those who believe not in the hereafter, their hearts refuse to know, and they are arrogant. Undoubtedly, God doth know what they conceal and what they reveal. Verily, he loveth not the arrogant. When it is said to them, what is it that your Lord has revealed? They say, tales of the ancients. Let them bear on the day of judgment their own burdens in full, and also of the burdens of those without knowledge, whom they misled. Alas, how grievous the burdens they will bear. In all ages, wicked men tried to plot against God's way, but they never succeeded, and were covered with shame in ways unexpected. The righteous see good in God's word, and their goal is the good. Great teachers were sent to all nations, to warn against evil and guide to the right. The penalty for evil comes in many unexpected ways, for evil is against nature. And all nature proclaims God's glory and humbly serves him, the Lord Supreme. Those before them did also plot, but God took their structures from their foundations, and the roof fell down on them from above, and the wrath seized them from directions they did not perceive. Then on the day of judgment he will cover them with shame and say, where are my partners concerning whom ye used to dispute? those endued with knowledge will say, "This day indeed are the unbelievers covered with shame and misery." Those whose lives the angels take in a state of wrongdoing to their own souls, then would they offer submission. We did no evil. The angels, nay, but verily God knoweth all that ye did. So enter the gates of hell to dwell therein. Thus evil indeed is the abode of the arrogant. To the righteous it is said, "What is it that your Lord has revealed?" They say, "All that is good." To those who do good, there is good in this world, and the home of the hereafter is even better, and excellent indeed is the home of the righteous. Gardens of eternity which they will enter, beneath them flow rivers. They will have therein all that they wish. Thus doth God reward the righteous. Those whose lives the angels take in a state of purity, saying, "Peace be on you, peace be on you. Enter ye the garden, because of which ye did." Do they wait until the angels come to them, or there comes the command of thy Lord? So did those who went before them, but God wronged them not, nay, they wronged their own souls. But the evil results of their deeds overtook them, and that very thing at which they had scoffed hemmed them in. The worshippers of false gods say, "If God had so willed, we should not have worshipped aught but him, neither we, nor our fathers, nor should we have prescribed prohibitions other than his." So did those who went before them. But what is the mission of apostles but to preach the clear message? For we assuredly sent amongst every people an apostle. Serve God and eschew evil. Of the people were some whom God guided, and some on whom error became inevitable. So travel through the earth, and see what was the end of those who denied. If thou art anxious for their guidance, yet God guideth not such as he leaves to stray, and there is none to help them. They swear their strongest oaths by God, that God will not raise up those who die. Nay, but it is a promise on him in truth. But most among mankind realize it not. In order that he may manifest to them the truth of that wherein they differ, and that the rejectors of truth may realize that they had indeed falsehood. One second. Mic check. For to anything which we have willed, we but say the word, "Be," and it is. To those who leave their homes in the cause of God after suffering oppression, we will assuredly give a goodly home in this world, but truly the reward of the hereafter will be greater, if they only realized. Those who persevere in patience and put their trust on their Lord. And before thee also the apostles we sent were but men, to whom we granted inspiration. If ye realize this not, ask of those who possess the message. With clear signs and books of dark prophecies, and we have sent down unto thee the message, that thou mayest explain clearly to men what is sent for them, and that they may give thought. Do then those who devise evil feel secure that God will not cause the earth to swallow them up. I'm going to read it again. Do then those who devise evil feel secure that God will not cause the earth to swallow them up, or that the wrath will not seize them from directions they little perceive, or that he may not call them to account in the midst of their goings to and fro without a chance of their frustrating him, or that he may not call them to account by a process of slow wastage. For thy Lord is indeed full of kindness and mercy. Do they not look at God's creation among the things, how their shadows turn round from the right and the left, prostrating themselves to God, and that in the humblest manner? And to God doth obeisance all that is in the heavens and on earth, whether moving creatures or the angels, for none are arrogant. They all revere their Lord high above them, and they do all that they are commanded. Okay. Verse 50 just finished. I want to take a look at how long this thing is. Okay, 128. I might do the whole thing because it's only been 17 minutes. So, what should I do? Alright, taking a 1-minute break. Short breather. Okay. What the hell? Okay, ready. They all revere their Lord high above them, and they do all that they are commanded. There is but one God, He who gives all blessings to men and other creatures. His greatest gift is that He reveals Himself, but in many tangible ways He cares for men and provides for his growth and sustenance. In rain and milk, in fruits and honey, and in nature and the life of man, with its opportunities of social, moral, and spiritual growth, are signs for those who understand. Why then does man show ingratitude by going after false gods and forgetting God? God has said, "Take not two gods, for He is just one God. Then fear me." To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and on earth, and to Him is duty due always. Then will ye fear other than God? And ye have no good thing but is from God. And moreover, when ye are touched by distress, unto Him ye cry with groans. Yet, when He removes the distress from you, behold, some of you turn to other gods to join with their Lord, to show their ingratitude for the favors we have bestowed on them. Then enjoy, but soon will ye know. And they assign to things they do not know a portion out of that which we have bestowed for their sustenance. By God, ye shall certainly be called to account for your false inventions. And they assign daughters for God, glory be to Him, and for themselves they desire. When news is brought to one of them of a female, his face darkens and he is filled with inward grief. With shame does he hide himself from his people. With shame does he hide himself from his people because of the bad news he has had. Shall he retain it on contempt or bury it in the dust? Ah, what evil they decide on. To those who believe not in the hereafter applies the similitude of evil. To God applies the highest similitude, for he is the exalted in power, full of wisdom. If God were to punish men for their wrongdoing, he would not leave. If God were to punish men for their wrongdoing, he would not leave on it a single living creature. But he gives them respite for a stated term. When their term expires, they would not be able to delay for a single hour, just as they would not be able to anticipate it. They attribute to God what they hate, and their tongues assert the falsehood that all good things are for themselves. Without doubt, for them is the fire, and they will be the first to be hastened on into it. I'm gonna read it again. They attribute to God what they hate, and their tongues assert the falsehood that all good things are for themselves. Without doubt, for them is the fire, and they will be the first to be hastened on into it. By God we sent to peoples before thee, but Satan made their own acts seem alluring. He is also their patron today, but they shall have a most grievous penalty. And we sent down the book to thee for the express purpose, that thou shouldst make clear to them those things in which they differ, and that it should be a guide and a mercy to those who believe. And God sends rain. And God sends down rain from the skies, and gives therewith life to the earth after its death. Verily, and this is a sign for those who listen. And verily, in cattle will ye find an instructive sign. From what is within their bodies, between excretions and blood, we produce for your drink milk pure and agreeable to those who drink it. And from the fruit of the date palm and the vine, ye get out wholesome drink and food. Behold, and this also is a sign for those who are wise. And thy Lord taught the bee to build its cells in hills, on trees, and in habitations, then to eat of all the produce, and find with skill the spacious paths of its then to eat of all the produce, and find with skill the spacious paths of its Lord. There issues from within their bodies a drink of varying colors, wherein is healing for men. Verily, and this is a sign for those who give thought. It is God who creates. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It is God who creates you and takes your soul at death. And of you there are some who are sent back to a feeble age, so that they know nothing after having known. For God is all-knowing, all-powerful. God has bestowed his gifts of sustenance more freely on some of you than on others. Those more favored are not going to throw back their gifts to those whom their right hands possess, so as to be equal in that respect. Will they then deny the favors of God? those more favored are not going to throw back their gifts to those whom their right hands possess, so as to be equal in that respect. Will they then deny the favors of God? And God has made for you mates of your own nature, and made for you out of them sons and daughters and grandchildren, and provided for you sustenance of the best. Will they then believe in vain things, and be ungrateful for God's favors? And worship others than God, such as have no power of providing them for sustenance with anything in heavens or earth, and cannot possibly have such power. Invent not similitudes for God knoweth, and ye know not. God sets forth the parable, a slave under the dominion of another. He has no power of any sort, and a man on whom we have bestowed goodly favors from ourselves, and he spends thereof privately and publicly. Are the two equal? Praise be to God, but most of them understand not. God sets forth a parable of two men, one of them dumb with no power of any sort. A wearisome burden is he to his master, whichever may he direct him. God sets a little tired. God sets forth a parable of two men, one of them dumb with no power of any sort. A wearisome burden is he to his master. Whichever way he directs him, he brings no good. Is such a man equal with one who commands justice and is on a straight way? To God belongeth the mystery of the heavens and the earth, and the decision of the hour is as the twinkling of an eye, or even quicker, for God hath power over all things. It is He who brought you forth from the wombs of your mothers when ye knew nothing, and He gave you hearing and sight and intelligence and affections, that ye may give thanks. Do they not look at the birds, held poised in the midst of the sky? Nothing holds them up but God. Verily in this are signs for those who believe. It is God who made your habitations, homes of rest and quiet for you, and made for you out of the skins of animals, dwellings which ye find so light, when ye travel and when ye stop, and out of their wool and their soft fibers, and their hair, which stuff and articles of convenience for a time. It is God who made out of the things He created some things to give you shade. Of the hills He made some for your shelter. He made you garments to protect you from heat, and coats of mail to protect you from your violence. Thus does He complete His favors on you, that ye may bow to His will. But if they turn away, thy duty is only to preach the clear message. They recognize the favors of God, then they deny them, and most of them are ungrateful. God's apostles, if rejected, will be witnesses against those who reject God's truth, and all false gods will disappear. A life of justice and righteousness is enjoined by God, and the strictest fidelity in intent and action. For God will judge us by our faith and deeds, and no evil shall have power over those who believe and put their trust in God their Lord. One day we shall raise from all peoples a witness. Then will no excuse be accepted from unbelievers, nor will they receive any favors. When the wrongdoers see the penalty, then will it in no way be mitigated, nor will they then receive respite. I'm gonna take a little break. Getting tired. Just sentences are packed. About 43 verses left. Like 15 minutes left. Okay, here we go. Namaste. When the wrongdoers see the penalty, then will it in no way be mitigated, nor will they then receive respite. When those who gave partners to God will see their partners, they will say, Our Lord, these are our partners, those whom we used to invoke besides thee. But they will throw back their word at them. Indeed, ye are liars. That day shall they show submission to God, and all their inventions shall leave them in the lurch. Those who reject God and hinder them from the path of God, for them will be add penalty to penalty, for that they I'm gonna read it again. Those who reject God and hinder them from the path of God, for them will be add penalty to penalty, for that they used to spread mischief. One day we shall raise from all peoples a witness against them from amongst themselves, and we shall bring thee as a witness against these. And we have sent down to thee a book, explaining all things, a guide, a mercy, and glad tidings to Muslims. God commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin, and He forbids all shameful deeds, and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you, He instructs you that ye may receive admonition. Fulfill the covenant of God when ye have entered into it, and break not your oath. Fulfill the covenant of God when ye have entered into it, and break not your oaths after ye have confirmed them. Indeed ye have made God your surety, for God knoweth all that ye do. And be not like a woman who breaks into untwisted strands the yarn which she has spun. Sorry, I'll read it again. Definitely tired. And be not like a woman who breaks into untwisted strands the yarn which she has spun after it has become strong. Right, taking a 1 minute break. I need water or something. Okay, here we go. Verse 92, about 35 verses left. And be not like a woman who breaks into untwisted strands the yarn which she... And be not like a woman who breaks into untwisted strands the yarn which she has spun after it has become strong. Nor take your oath to practice deception between yourselves, lest one party should be more numerous than the another. I'm gonna read it again, sorry. And be not like a woman who breaks into untwisted strands the yarn which she has spun, after it has become strong. Nor take your oaths to practice deception between yourselves, lest one party should be more numerous than another. For God will test you by this, and on the day of judgment He will certainly make clear to you that wherein ye disagree. If God so willed, He could make you all one people, but He leaves straying whom He pleases, and He guides whom He pleases. But ye shall certainly be called to account for all your actions. And take not your oaths to practice deception between yourselves, with the result that someone's foot may slip after it was firmly planted, and ye may have to taste the evil of having hindered them from the path of God, and a mighty wrath descend on you. Nor sell the covenant of God for a miserable price, for with God is it far better for you, if ye only knew. What is with you must vanish, what is with God will endure, and we will certainly bestow on those who patiently persevere their reward according to the best of their actions. Whoever works righteousness, man or woman, and has faith, verily to him will we give a new life, a life that is good and pure, and we will bestow on such their reward according to the best of their actions. When thou dost read the Quran, seek God's protection from Satan the rejected one. No authority has he over those who believe and put their trust in their Lord. His authority is over those only who take him as patron and who join partners with God. I'm gonna read that again. His authority is over those only who take him as patron and who join partners with God. God's truth may come in stages, but it gives strength, guidance, and glad tidings, and should be held fast when once received. Be not like those who get puffed up with pride in worldly good and scorn the truth. Enjoy the good things of life, but render thanks to God and obey His law. Be true in faith and proclaim His word with gentle, patient wisdom, for God is with those who live in self-restraint, a pure, good, and righteous life. Okay, about 25 verses left. When we substitute one revelation for another, and God knows best what He reveals, they say, "Thou art but a forger." Now I almost said forager. All right, taking a 1 minute break, and I'm also gonna check how many shlokas. How many verses are there? 128. So 28 verses left. Here we go. Namaste. When we substitute one revelation for another, and God knows best what He reveals, they say, "Thou art but a forger," but most of them understand not. Say, "The Holy Spirit has brought the revelation from thy Lord in truth, in order to strengthen those who believe, and as a guide and glad tidings to Muslims." We know indeed that they say, "It is a man that teaches him." The tongue of him they wickedly point to, We know indeed that they say, "It is a man that teaches him." The tongue of him they wickedly point to is notably foreign, while this is Arabic, pure and clear. Those who believe not in the signs of God, God will not guide them, and theirs will be a grievous penalty. It is those who believe not in the signs of God that forge falsehood. I'm gonna read that again. It is those who believe not in the signs of God that forge Why am I not making sense? It is those who believe not in the signs of God that forge falsehood. It is they who lie. There shouldn't have been a comma, that's why. Anyone who, after accepting faith in God, utters unbelief, except under compulsion, his heart remaining firm in faith, but such as open their breast to unbelief, on them is wrath from God, and theirs will be a dreadful penalty. This because they love the life of this world better than the hereafter, and God will not guide those who reject faith. Those are they whose hearts, ears, and eyes God has sealed up, and they take no heed. Without doubt, in the hereafter, they will perish. But verily, thy Lord, to those who leave their homes after trials and persecutions, and who thereafter strive and fight for the faith and patiently persevere. I'm going to read it again. But verily, thy Lord, to those who leave their homes after trials and persecutions, and who thereafter strive and fight for the faith, they patiently and patient. So I'm tired. 20 verses left. But verily, thy Lord, to those who leave their homes after trials and persecutions, and but verily, thy Lord, to those who leave their homes after trials and persecutions, and who thereafter strive and fight for the faith, and patiently persevere, thy Lord, after all this. Why am I messing up? I don't understand. But verily, thy Lord, to those who leave their homes after trials and persecutions, and who thereafter strive and fight for the faith, and patiently persevere, thy Lord, after all this, is forgiving, most merciful. One day every soul will come up struggling for itself, and every soul, cannot say soul. One day every soul will come up struggling for itself, and every soul will be recompensed for all its actions, and none will be unjustly dealt with. Now it's getting embarrassing. Very tired. Okay, the sentences are shorter, mostly. One day every soul will come up struggling for itself, and every soul will be recompensed for all its actions, and none will be unjustly dealt with. God sets forth a parable, a city enjoying security and quiet, abundantly supplied with sustenance from every place. I'll read it again. God sets forth a parable, a city enjoying security and quiet, abundantly supplied with sustenance from every place. Yet was it ungrateful for the favors of God, so God made it taste of hunger and terror, like a garment, because of it which they wrote. And there came to them an apostle from among themselves, but they falsely rejected him. So the wrath seized them even in the midst of their iniquities. So eat up the sustenance which God has provided for you, lawful and good, and be grateful for the favors of God, if it is He whom ye serve. He has only forbidden you dead meat and blood, and the flesh of swine, and anything over which the name of other than God has been invoked. But if one is forced by necessity, without willful disobedience, nor transgressing due limits, then God is all-forgiving, most merciful. Most merciful. But say not for any false thing that your tongues may put forth, this is lawful and this is forbidden, so as to ascribe false things to God. So as to ascribe false things to God. For those who ascribe false things to God will never prosper. This is a very important sentence, I think. People impose things on others all the time nowadays. Okay. 116 again. But say not for any false thing that your tongues may put forth, this is lawful and this is forbidden, so as to ascribe false things to God. For those who ascribe false things to God will never prosper. For those who ascribe false things to God will never prosper. It means you don't have to listen to anybody in this world. I mean, unless you're a criminal, you know. Here we go. It is but a paltry profit, but they will have a most grievous penalty. To the Jews we prohibited such things as we have mentioned to thee before. We did them no wrong, but they were used to doing wrong to themselves. But verily thy Lord, to those who do wrong in ignorance, but who thereafter repent and make amends, thy Lord, after all this, is all-forgiving, most merciful. Abraham was indeed a model, devoutly obedient to God, true in faith, and he joined not gods with God. He showed his gratitude for the favors of God, who chose him and guided him to a straight way. I'll read it again. Home stretch. 8 verses left. He showed his gratitude for the favors of God, who chose him and guided him to a straight way. What uses straight if I cannot even say straight? My straight sounds crooked. And we gave, here we go, 122. And we gave him good in this world, and he will be in the hereafter in the ranks of the righteous, in the ranks of the righteous. And we gave him good in this world, and he will be in the hereafter in the ranks of the righteous. So we have taught the inspired thing. Follow the ways of Abraham, the true in faith, and he joined not gods with God. The Sabbath was only made for those who disagree. 5 verses left. The Sabbath was only made for those who disagreed, but God will judge between them on the day of judgment as to their differences. Invite them to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. For thy Lord knoweth. 125 once again. Invite them to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. For thy Lord knoweth. Starting from here. For thy Lord knoweth best For thy Lord knoweth best who have strayed from his path, and who receive guidance. And if you do catch, I'm gonna read it again because it's towards the end. I don't want to make too many mistakes at the end. Invite them to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. For thy Lord knoweth best who have strayed from his path, and who receive guidance. And if you do catch them out no worse than they catch you out. Okay, last 3 verses. Imagine stopping right here and quitting. I'm gonna quit. Okay, mic check. Okay, final 3 verses. Verse 126. Here we go. And if ye do catch them out no worse than they catch you out. And if you do catch them out no worse than they catch you out. But if ye show patience, that is indeed the best for those who are patient. But if ye do, I'm gonna read it again. And if ye do catch them out no worse than they catch you out. But if ye show patience, that is indeed the best for those who are patient. Yeah, it's my injuries. I'm sorry. Just a set of muscles or muscles are stuck together, and I don't know what to do. And do thou be patient, for thy patience is but from God. Nor grieve over them, and distress not thyself because of their plots. Well, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna heal a set of nerves that's gonna make my speech impediment go away, basically. I don't know when. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 months. Healing has to do with healing the nerves. Once you heal the nerves, then the body knows what to do. You know, could even regenerate. Okay, here we go. And do thou be patient, for thy patience is but from God. Nor grieve over them, and distress not thyself because of their plots. For God is with those who restrain themselves, and those who do good. Okay, thank you very much. I'm done. So I'm gonna go skateboarding. There's nothing left. Today is like a hump day. That's when I go skateboarding, and I chant the Hare Krishna mantra at the Hare Krishna tree at Tompkins Square. I pray that it doesn't rain on Wednesdays because it's hard for me to reschedule anything nowadays. So once I decide on a day, I just hope that it doesn't rain on Wednesdays. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Namaste. It rained on Wednesday last week for about half an hour. Sucked out. Half an hour. Not too bad. 30 minutes it rained. It sucked. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.